It's up to you, Brock. Okay, I got a final question. This is a bonus question. I had this thought. I noticed that was it last week? Ohio State played Michigan, and
Right,
there was like 18 million television viewers for this game. The Niners and the Panthers, which was Monday Night Football, had about 12 million. And I'm not a big college football guy. I'm from the Bay Area. Cal, Stanford, San Jose State.
right,
It's nothing compared to the Niners and the Raiders, or at least when I was growing up.
right,
But I know in other parts of the country, like college football is huge and people are really into it. And it seems like what the NFL has done is created this league of parity, and that's what they wanted. They want everyone, every fan base to feel like they're in it. And there's some positives to that. But it seems like the drawback we're seeing it this year is like there's no marquee matchups anymore. There's no game that you're like, I gotta see that. I mean, a couple
right,
years ago, it was like Buffalo and Kansas City's like, man, I gotta see that. But like, what
right,
is that game this year? Whereas this weekend, Indiana and Ohio State, everyone's going to want to watch that. You have
right.
dominant teams, really good rivalries. In the
Yeah,
NFL, you got like, I don't know, Rams losing to the Panthers. So I
right.
think the NFL is got to be careful here. You could get overtaken by college football if you make your league super mediocre.
It's actually a pretty interesting point, and I mean, I think it was a few years ago. It was like Mahomes' second year or something, and Sean McVay was still new. And that Rams Chiefs game, it was on Monday Night Football, and they both scored like 50, and it
I
was like
remember that game.
what a back and
Yeah.
forth game. And I even remember there was a Thursday night game, when Shanahan was fresh and McVay was fresh, and they went back and forth, and
Yep.
you felt this is like the start of something. And obviously we picked the Ravens Steelers, and I've talked about the Ravens Steelers, but it's almost weird because it's Ravens Steelers for first place in the AFC North is this Sunday. It like does it have that allure of that? Yeah,
Nope.
exactly.
I
Like
didn't
it's
even know. Yeah.
right. Isn't that like
Yeah.
it's weird because typically from oh like 01 to like 5 years ago when the Steelers and Ravens play for the AFC North, like it's everyone's talking about it, oh, this is two of the best teams, two of the class. Oh, it's incredible. The winner's probably going to go for a run in the AFC playoffs.
Mhm.
This year it's just, even though Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers, it's Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers, but nobody cares about that. I mean, it's 2 6-6 teams. I get it. But I think that speaks to the idea of, because the Ravens have Lamar, they can't build out the roster. And then he gets hurt and they're just an awful team. The Steelers, like I said, they're stuck in mediocrity of they can't get a quarterback because they're never bad enough to pick high enough. And they never have the cap flexibility to, we have to sign Rodgers on his last legs. Or we have to sign Wilson on his last legs because we're spending cap on TJ Watt and all these things. So it is it's tough, and it makes it interesting that, we don't have those marquee matchups, or even the Legion of Boom versus San Fran back in the day. We don't have those sort of, the Rams and 49ers, that Thursday night game was fun, but then they followed it up with kind of a dud to a degree. So yeah, it's tough to say there's like a marquee
Like if
game.
the Super Bowl this year is like Denver
Right.
against
The Bears. Yeah.
the Bears, like, is that gonna get more views on television than the national championship?
Yeah. I mean, I guess just because it's the Super Bowl, but I think it
Maybe,
would at least be trending
but
in the
at
way
some
of,
point, maybe not. I mean, I think
right.
that the way that's trending, the way I look at it is I'm not into college football, I'm just not. I don't think the game is as schematically interesting. Maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
Um, what was I gonna say about it? I guess I just say I don't like it very much. No, it's a professional league now. The players are getting paid, so it's a competing professional league. It's not necessarily there to like complement the 40 the NFL anymore. Like this,
Right.
it could take your spot,
Yeah.
and the NFL better adjust because their shit is boring.
Right.
Their shit is boring. There's
Yeah.
no deep throw. There's no explosive plays anymore. It's still a defensive league, and every team kind of sucks. That's how I feel about the NFL right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And especially, I mean, we're close to Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes being out of the playoffs. Joe Burrow's
Yep,
probably out of the playoffs.
that's not what they need.
No, that's not a good thing for the NFL when you got Daniel Jones making the playoffs over Patrick Mahomes, which I mean, hey, good for the Colts and that's awesome and everything, but it doesn't bring that like, yeah, like we said, if the Colts are playing, especially, yeah, if the Colts are playing, I don't even, Colts and Green Bay, how many people are like, what a juicy Super Bowl that is? Not many people.
At least for the last 5 or whatever, like, they had the Mahomes star power. Like, do you
Right.
hate him? Do you love him? Is he gonna win? Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts pretty famous too, but, like, this year
And right.
it could be Bo Nix, it could be Caleb Williams. I mean, he's pretty
Right.
famous, but it could be some nobodies that
Was
the
in
rest
like
of the
in
league's
San
like,
Fran, it
"You
used
wouldn't
to be,
love?"
can the great team beat the great quarterback? San Fran
Yeah.
has the best roster.
Yes.
Mahomes has the best quarterback. Like
Yep.
how it was
You could
like a
bill it like that. This year, it's like I don't know. It's going to
who
be
even is
interesting.
the best quarterback? I guess is Stafford going to win MVP or is it going to be Drake May? Which I mean, even those, before the season, you weren't like, oh, those are the two best quarterbacks, Drake
Yeah.
May and Matthew Stafford. Yeah.
Drake May, future face of the league, maybe. Lyle Bolliard says, "Can the Niners pick players off other teams' practice squads? And if so, go get a pass rusher." They did. That's exactly what they. Cleveland Farrell was on the Chargers practice squad, and then they cut him. They were like, "We don't want to give you your weekly stipend." That's crazy to me. Jim Harbaugh served that one up for the Niners. Lyle says, "Trade Brandon and Mac Jones for TJ Watt since the Steelers need a quarterback and wide receiver."
That's
Yeah,
not as crazy as you may think. I'll just tell,
right.
especially if you want to take on TJ Watt's salary, I don't think that's as crazy as you may think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that salary a little underwater? He's not quite living up to what they paid him, 40 something, 30 something?
40 something, and it keeps
Oof,
growing, and the production isn't necessarily there, and he's getting older. And they have
oof.
this, Nick Herbig, they have who's excellent, and they have Alex Highsmith. At least I think it was one of the trusted Steelers beat reporters tweeted something that said, "Don't be shocked if the Steelers use TJ Watt to, improve the offense a little more." So hey, who knows?
BNA says wasting resources on Trent Taylor. I see why BA wouldn't trust the Niners medical staff. Who's to say he wouldn't get preference of Kittle's entourage? Is it that unusual for a player like Ayuk, who's extremely rich, to sort of rehab with his own team away from like during June and July? I don't understand how the Niners turned this into him being unprofessional. I don't know.
No, I guess that comes down to communication would
I
be the
guess.
argument. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
honestly, like you said, we need to hear Ayuk's side of the story at some point.
I just feel like everyone's like, well, he's not contesting it, so that means he really did it. Yeah, yeah, probably. He just wants to go to the Commanders.
Yeah,
And I think he and his agent decided that if he just shuts his mouth and
easier.
does nothing, he's going to go to the Commanders. And I wonder if the Niners really are going to cut him because he's just going to go to Washington. And then if he's healthy, he's going to play really well and they're going to look bad. So maybe they do what they did with Jimmy. We're like, no, we're not just going to cut a player like He's too good.
Yeah,
We're trading him. Everyone's like,
sure.
what? You're going to cut him. We're not trading for him. I can see that happening.
That is, as a Steelers person, I think that too. Who like I think they're one of the two teams he would sign with. I think they're like the Steelers are like, here's like a conditional seventh. What do you mean? Yeah,
What are you talking about? Yeah,
yeah,
the Niners did that with Jimmy Garoppolo forever. We love Jimmy. No, you don't. You literally just traded everything to get rid
yeah,
of Jimmy. No. That is, I could see why you would think that, but
yeah.
that is
That's not how it
not
is.
how we
Yeah.
feel. Amazing. Oh, Alan Lopez, new member. Thank you. Joseph Ernberg, 7381 says Niners will lose Super Bowl to the Pats 42-9. That is an oddly specific prediction.
Well, we
42 to
said they
9.
were going to lose, giving up 42 points in the playoffs. We did mention that already, so that would be. I guess fans would be happy with that outcome.
Hunter Henry goes for 305 touchdowns that game. Parker, great debut. Loved having you on the show. Go check him out on 49ers on SI. Check me out as well. We're writing articles every couple of hours, man. Thank you very much for being here and watching us. Take care.
Yep.
See you.
Talk soon.